The history of the new millennium was changed forever on September 11th, 2001.
I am in a situation where Americans learn the possible hijack.
Eddie, are you there? Eddie? Eddie?
The attack on the heart of the United States marked the beginning of a rapidly changing world. Another unique event occurred on that horrific day. Benedict Ben Sliney, who had taken office as National Operations Manager that very day, decided to close US airspace entirely. At 8:24 a.m., air traffic controllers in Boston intercepted a communication from American Airlines Flight 11, in which the hijacker mentioned hijacked planes. At 8:32, the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, notified NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, of a possible hijacking. But the communication was unclear, and the military F-16s in flight didn't intervene. At 8:46 a.m., the plane crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. A chill hit the command center. Controllers stared at their screens, trying to comprehend what American Airlines Flight 11 had just done. Communications were confused, and not everyone realized immediately that this was an attack. Confirmation came at 9:03, when United Airlines Flight 175 also hit the South Tower.
An effort up there yet. Now remember, oh my God.
Oh my God.
That looks like a second plane.
Tension is mounting in the command center of the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA. At this very moment, there's over 4,500 planes flying over the United States. Each one of them could potentially be a missile ready to strike. Ben Sliney is in a difficult position. He must respond to information requests from the military, while also dealing with panicked airlines who fear that one of their planes could be hijacked. It is at this point that he makes the first decision that will cost the economy billions and to leave millions of people grounded. But that's the least of his worries. America is under attack. At 9:25, 22 minutes after the second impact, the first order from the FAA arrives. A nationwide ground stop. No planes are allowed to take off. Less than 15 minutes later, at 9:37, American Airlines Flight 77 crashes into the Pentagon, breaching the heart of the American defense system.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We're looking at a live picture from Washington, and there is smoke pouring out of the Pentagon.
Rumors of 20 or 30 hijacked planes begin to circulate in the FAA control center, and panic spreads rapidly. Sliney looks at the radar map, does a quick calculation, and realizes that he has only one choice. At around 9:45 a.m., he immediately orders SCATANA, security control of air traffic and navigation aids. There have only been simulations, but never a reality. Sliney was making it a reality on his first day in the job. All aircraft had to land now. Some 4,500 planes needed to find a suitable landing strip, and they had to do so quickly. The first country to deal with this situation was Canada, the US's giant neighbor, which triggered Operation Yellow Ribbon. This was also the first time that Canada's airspace had been shut down. Over 230 flights landed at 17 airports across the country. Meanwhile, regional airports in the United States were also overwhelmed. Huge Boeing 747s landed on runways designed for small Cessnas. Pilots were ordered to descend immediately without explanation. They did not yet know that the world they had left behind when they took off no longer existed. Sliney continues to monitor the situation as the number of aircraft in flight decreases dramatically. But there is a problem. One dot continues to move. It's United Flight 93. It's heading straight for Washington, D.C. The drama reaches breaking point. The military asks, if we intercept, do we have authorization to shoot down a civilian aircraft? Sliney and the FAA find themselves in the midst of an unprecedented moral and constitutional dilemma. However, the decision will not prove necessary because, having learned of the fate of the other planes, a group of courageous passengers attempted to regain control of the flight to avoid being overpowered. The hijackers tragically crashed the plane at 10:03 a.m. Meanwhile, the eyes of the world were focused on the Twin Towers. At 9:59 a.m., one tower collapsed and, about 30 minutes later, the other followed. New York was left in a cloud of smoke, ash, and debris. It was the first time since the Wright brothers first took flight in American skies that the skies over the United States had been empty. Sliney had saved the airspace from further attacks, but so many innocent lives had already been lost. While we often remember the names of those who destroy, the story of 9/11 is also about individuals like Sliney, who remained calm as chaos descended upon the world. It was the ultimate test of what it really means to take responsibility for thousands of lives.